Okay, today I'm talking about something that I feel like it's been bothering me a lot lately, or it's something that's been happening to me a lot lately, and I feel like it's something that people can, like, understand. So, you ever have it where somebody takes your stuff, or, borrows your stuff, or uses your stuff without telling you? Or if they do borrow it without telling you, and then something happens to it, or they change it, and then they also don't tell you? That has been happening to me lately between me and my dad. I'm not blaming my dad. I'm not trying to make him seem like the bad guy. But lately he's been just doing stuff that has been bugging me. And it's just like, it's a basic thing, okay? Look, I feel like I try to be that person that's like, okay, if I borrow something of somebody else's, I tell them or I ask them, and then God forbid if something happens to that thing that I borrowed, I just let them know. Say, hey, Mom, I borrowed your sweater. I accidentally tore a hole in it. Worst case scenario is that I have to borrow a new sweater. It takes 5 seconds, people. 5 seconds. And you're telling me you can't take that, like, you're too in your own zone to take 5 seconds to let your friend know that, hey, I borrowed this thing. Like, the other day, my dad borrowed my car because his car's been on the fritz lately. I don't care if he borrows my car because he usually lets me know. That's not the thing I'm going to complain about. The other day, me and my mom went out to go shopping, and I offered to drive because she's been feeling under the weather lately. Give her love in the comments. But he put on if you don't know, you could turn on the steering lock wheel, like to lock the steering, so it makes it even more efficient so people don't steal your car. I didn't know that he put the steering lock on my car, and he didn't tell me how to turn it off. So you could see my frustration, because without me knowing how to turn it off, I had no access to my car. I couldn't drive it, I couldn't turn it on, I couldn't go anywhere. So that makes it freaking fantastic that I have no access to my car. It's just a simple, hey, Janessa, I put the steering lock on your car. Here's how to fix it. That's all it would have taken. I'd be like, okay, fine. But it's just like, I don't understand those people who borrow something without telling you, or if something happens to that thing, they try to cover it up. It's just like, I don't get it. I really just, I don't know. And here's the thing. Yes, my father bought me this car. And I'm so appreciative. I am. But it's my car. It is under my name. It is under my stuff. I am the legal owner of this car. If something happens to it, I am responsible. I have to fix it. Yes? But he still feels like because he bought the car that he has some sort of, like, power over me and over this car. Like, he feels like it's all his problem, which it is not. Because, again, it is my car under my name and everything. Registration is mine or whatever. It is mine. He is not to technically touch it unless I give him permission. And I try not to. I'm not that possessive of a person. I really don't care if you borrow my stuff. I really don't. I just like to know ahead of time. Not that I go to use this thing and then that thing is missing and it's gone. Like if I go to make friends or plans with friends and then my car is missing and he didn't tell me that he borrowed it, I'm kind of left, stranded, right? All it would take is, hey, Janessa, I borrowed your car. Okay. But he usually tells me when he borrows my car. But this time he didn't tell me. Now, I don't know if this is just obviously his dad brain, fizzing out because it's burning toast up there or what, but
I don't want to be the burnt toast.
yeah. But the worst case scenario is, like, if you're a person who borrows somebody else's stuff and something happens, you have to replace it. That's the worst thing. You give them the money to buy a new one, or you're just not allowed to touch that person's stuff again. And I hate to be that person to cut off, the rights of my stuff to other people, because I try to
share.
And I try to be equal. Like, if you think something of mine is nice and you want to borrow it, I'm not going to hate against you. If anything, I find it flattering. But he had no business putting the steering lock on my car and not telling me how to fix it. It is my car. It is under my name. I have the right to what happens to it. And me not having access to my own car just feels a little ridiculous, don't you think? I mean, it's just a little like, that's, you know, I don't know. That'd be like evicting a goldfish out of its fishbowl. Like, if...
And he's been complaining a lot that you've been staying home too much and not going out and...
Yeah, my dad has been on my case about, you know, me not having a job and stuff.
So if you would have went out to your car to go for a job interview...
That's why it's mainly frustrating, but I didn't want to make it part of the video, but it's fine. Because I didn't want to make it all seem on Dad, but whatever.
No, it's not, just, you know.
It's not, but that's the thing, is like, obviously, yeah, I don't have a job right now, but if I would have went to try, and he's been getting on my ass about that, about not having a job. Again, I'm not blaming my father, but... if he's so, you know, trying to get me towards getting a job, I should have access to my car. And I can't go out driving for jobs without my car, without access to it, or knowing how to undo the steering lock.
Because he was just yelling at you the other day that you don't go out and try.
Yeah,
and if you go out and try, he locks the steering, and he didn't tell you how to unlock it.
It's very contradictive.
So, but I think it's just guys in general, because he's done that with me.
I mean, I try to be considerate. I don't borrow other people's stuff very much, but if I do, I'm like, hey, I'm borrowing this thing. I'll give it to you later. And God forbid, if something does happen to that thing, I try to, you know, really apologize. And if necessary, I give them the money or try to replace it, but it's not usually ever that bad. But it's just like, it's a basic... consideration thing. Just, you know, how would you feel was the role reversal, right? If they were borrowing, if it was the other way around, if they borrowed your stuff without telling, you'd be upset, yeah? And if something happened to it and you didn't know, you'd be upset, yeah? So it's just, you know, a simple, like, hey, you know,
consideration.
Yeah, it's just simple consideration. Hey, I borrowed this thing and I wanted, you know, because I take the time to, even when I'm not borrowing, just everyday things. Like, if, like, I go to leave the house for something, if I can get access to my car, I'm like, hey, I'm going to the dollar store. Not that my parents come home or my aunt comes home and she calls upstairs and I'm not there. And then they're like, hey, Janessa's missing. It's, you know, whatever. Just let people know when you do stuff. And if something happens when you do said thing, like I said, when you borrow something and it gets wrecked, or just...
in general.
Where you go, not that people think you're going missing. But that's basically it. That's just, you know... I needed to de-stress. And I feel like this is something that, you know, people can understand. You know, if people borrow your stuff all the time without telling you, or touch your stuff without your permission, whether you're a possessive person or not. I try not to be possessive. I mean, I feel like I'm starting to become that person, and I really hate that. And I feel like this isn't just my OCD. This is just common sense to do. You know, this is just, hey, I'm borrowing your stuff. That's it. You know? But that's pretty much it. I just wanted to, you know, say about that. But that wraps up this video. If you have any suggestions, write down in the comments, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!